Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV. Took a small break and pressing onward because this is where everything starts to get so meaty that I just can't resist the game anymore. And this side quest, we get the title Debate and Discourse. Oh, great. What is this? Facebook and Twitter? Greetings, little one. Come to debate, and at so young an age. How wonderful. Shall we retire to the benches and settle on a topic? Oh, my apologies for jumping to conclusions. My friends are not quite as fond of the Hall of Rhetoric as I am, so I have a habit of chatting up any potential conversation partners. So if you're not here to debate, I presume you're here to learn about the mysterious and esoteric going-ons here? 'Twould be my pleasure to act as your tutor in these matters, if you will indulge me. The Hall of Rhetoric is, as its name indicates, a place where citizens may freely gather to discuss and debate all manner of topics. This central forum is ideal for open discourse, but smaller rooms are available for those desiring more intimate conversation. Oh, and there is a wealth of reading material concerning rhetorical techniques and history penned by the greatest minds on offer as well, should you wish to refine your techniques through self-study. To my mind, however, rhetoric is a living, breathing thing that is best experienced in the moment of conception and execution. Perhaps a demonstration would best serve to further your education. I saw a contemporary of mine engaged in a lively debate earlier, just outside the hall. Go and see if they are still there, and issue to them my personal invitation to a friendly battle of wits. Amarotine Firebrand, huh? But that is precisely my point, that their obsession with this so-called mandate to approve only the most beneficial concepts for wider distribution, never mind the ridiculous subjectivity of their criteria, has led the Bureau of the Architect astray from its original purpose. Have you business with me, child? Regardless, I am in the middle of a heated discussion with my partner. Come back later. No. My position has nothing to do with the intrinsic value of unique identity and whether or not it is retained. Rather, I posit that the reproductions of a given concept are inherently imperfect, and thus they are themselves unique, albeit in minor but significant degrees. And most importantly, this variance is not to be condemned, but celebrated. Better that than to strive in vain for an impossible standard, even if met, would leave us lesser for lack of diversity. The Amarotines appear to be engrossed in their debate, and utterly deaf to you and your pleas for attention. My, aren't you a stubborn little bugger? It's strangely endearing, I must admit, but we have all the time in the world. Why are you so insistent that I speak with you this very instant? Ah, you are acquainted with that chatterbox. I suppose I do owe them a debate or two, and now's as good an occasion as any. So be it. Yeah, we couldn't target the other one anyway, so no extra talking for this side quest. So you're to be an observer? No, that will not do. You must be an active participant. You must engage in the discourse. Only by doing will you learn and grow, little one. I see you found my friend. Thank you, little one. Then without further ado, let us commence the promised debate. Phew. As to the matter of the subject we shall debate today, I propose the recent calamity which has befallen our friends across the pond. What say you? The singular point of contention is, of course, whether or not Amarat should intervene on their behalf. I believe we should. The scale of the disaster which threatens that distant metropolis is of a scale heretofore unseen, and so equally considerable resources must be committed to counteracting its effects. I disagree. The scale concerns me less than the nature of the proposition itself. Who are we to unilaterally intervene in the affairs of those half a world away? Are we to be the saviors of one and all? Such arrogance may well lead to our own downfall. While I understand your concerns from a philosophical standpoint, I fear you are too quick to dismiss practical considerations out of a desire to maintain an unassailable moral authority. But let us, you and I, hold here for a present and offer to the floor our young student. You have heard our opening salvos in this debate concerning the fate of our neighbors across the sea. What is your opinion on the matter? Well, there's the Louis Soir line from 2.4 or 2.5 when Moonbrita died. And then the other option we have is from the Dark Knight quest line. Gonna have to go with the second option, though. It's the more true. Cannot save everyone. Sometimes it is all we can do to save ourselves. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings, the unvarnished truth and purest wisdom, one must first look to one's own welfare before that of others, and the same must be said of our distant neighbors. To save them would be to deprive them of the agency to determine their own fate. If self-interest is to take precedence, then consider the lost benefit to Amarat. There is clear and undeniable value in using the situation as a test bed for our newest creations, that we might develop and refine our defenses against a potential threat to our own fair city. A plea to practicality, I see, and one which you doubtless believe I have given you ample cause to invoke, but you misrepresent my arguments as enlightened self-interest, when in truth it is a rather more nuanced position. You can't tell if they're actually angry or not, like when they're talking, so you don't know exactly what their feelings are. They're just basically spouting the words, baby. Some decry it as a little more than an academic exercise. After all, we failed to reach a meaningful consensus. But I dare say they miss the forest for the trees. Are we not more enlightened by the experience? Have we not been exposed to a greater variety of viewpoints? Is there no value in this alone? I truly believe we are blessed to be part of a society that exalts the free exchange of ideas and that encourages active participation in the public discourse. This may have been no more than your first foray into the exciting world of rhetoric, but I sense you have the soul of a debater in you. You may well have the potential to change Amarat in ways no one ever thought possible. I shall be watching your trajectory with great interest, my young friend. Welcome to the Bureau of the Architect, little one. Are you here to request a concept for personal use? If so, what sort of concept did you have in mind? Ah, communal robes. That will take but a moment to prepare, but before I fill your request, I should caution you. Pardon me for asking, but your creative potential is, relatively low, is it not? We are trained to assess these things, and I fear that you do not possess the ability to express this concept in physical form. It's almost as though you completely lack it, though that can't be possible. But regardless of the reason, you needn't worry. We have special tools that may be used to address this very eventuality. I will furnish you with an etheric rope that you can use to restrain one of the misbegotten cubuses that congregate in the plaza north of the Academia Aniter. You will need to weaken your quarry before you can reliably bind them, but once you have, you can repurpose their energies to create your own robes. Responsible creation. You understand that by harnessing the powers of creation, we can give physical form to all manner of concepts, yes? Picture a bouquet of fresh, fragrant flowers, all the colors of a rainbow. Now picture those selfsame flowers formed of delicate crystal, impossibly fragile and radiating hues beyond the visual spectrum. Every day our people push the boundaries of imagination to conceive new and striking designs like these. But there are limits to what a single individual can shape with their abilities alone. Those who harbor greater ambitions may offer their concepts to others here, that they might with the strength of many accomplish what one cannot. Not all concepts are approved for wider distribution, of course. Dangerous, subversive creations pose a risk to everyone, and so it is only after a comprehensive evaluation, after a concept is judged to further the greater good, that we permit it to be shared with the community. Do you understand, little one? Since you are here, I think you might benefit from conversing with some of the others currently availing themselves of our services. Why don't you go and speak with some of the citizens waiting for their registrations to be processed? Much as I would like to believe my explanation was more than sufficient, I expect that you may gain greater insight in this way. Hello, hello, little one. So rare is it to see one of your size roaming about here. Come to learn about the Bureau, are we? I'm here today to register a new creature. Boneless, and with semi-translucent skin, it drifts through the air, like a dancer on a summer breeze, its tentacles trailing behind. It utilizes gas bladders to propel itself from place to place, you see. I'll admit it's not the most elegant of designs. I'd not shed a tear if it were rejected, quite frankly. But what can I say? I take pleasure in conceiving unorthodox designs. A beginner like you shouldn't take after me, though. If you're looking to pick up a few tips, you should probably ask someone else. Ah, is that my number that you just called? If you'll excuse me. Are you the child I saw speaking with the attendant earlier? I thought so. So young, and already so eager to learn about concepts and creations. That curiosity will serve you well, little one. I've been credited with a few popular concepts, I'm proud to say. I'm hoping that my latest will be equally well received. Autonomous figures. I say my latest, but really it's the product of many others' efforts and individual insights, but such is the case for every masterwork, I reckon. Autonomy notwithstanding, these creations know no fear. They are wholly devoid of emotion, and will, without hesitation or resistance, engage in any dangerous activity, even if death is assured. There's a beauty in that, I think, and I hope the officials do so as well. I tell you, there is nothing more nerve-wracking and thrilling than the waiting period before you receive the result. I love it and hate it in equal measure. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about it. If you're still keen to learn more, why not pester that worrywart over yonder? Come to think of it, I think their particular creation was designed to appeal to children. You there, an aspiring creator come to learn about the Bureau and its inner workings, I trust? That's all well and good, but since you're here, perhaps you can help me with a little something. I've been refining a concept of mine for some time now, adorable little creatures designed to be the perfect plaything for any young citizen, but I'm still terribly unsure if it's ready to be submitted for approval, which is why I was hoping you might first put it through its paces and tell me what you think. Your honest opinion. I'll have no flattery from you, young man. This matrix will allow you to summon my creations, but don't use it here. Take it outside first, and don't be afraid to play rough. It's all part of the fun. Play rough, huh? Before we do that, I'm gonna go and rope our Cubus, because we're gonna have to come back to the same building anyway, and I might as well. I find this part of the game really fascinating, hence why I'm reading all of the dialogue here. We'll get to more voice-acted segments when we get back to the main portion, which will be immediately after these two quests finish. I just figured they were, you know, close enough to what's going on right now to go ahead and do and show, unlike all the other side quests in the game. Should be weak enough, I think. You've probably seen all sorts of commentary like this online in this day and age. The whole, like, debate and discourse quest, and the more interesting part, of course, is all this creation magic stuff that they're talking about. The idea that they can make anything. That was one of the central premises of that movie I talked about last time, Forbidden Planet. The ancient race on that planet were called the Krell, and with their mind, with their very thoughts, they could create anything. They consider that play for their children. Man. Those slimes were trying to kill me. How did you find my lovelies? Were they as delightful and engaging as I hoped? Tell me everything, spare no details. They were talking slimes that tried to kill me. I say, they spouted nonsensical phrases and attacked you like mad beasts? How distressing, not at all what I intended. My sincerest apologies to you, little one, for the unpleasant experience. Still, from these experiences do we grow stronger and wiser. I look forward to the day when you will try your hand at creation too. I think Clyde is too much of a blockhead to create anything, honestly. But, whatever. He can do synthesis, that's kind of creation. Captured Cubus. You have done well, little one. Allow me to siphon its energies and prepare the matrix for you. It should only take a moment. Here you are, a creation matrix that you may use to generate your own robes. The concept is inscribed upon the crystal, which has been infused with the ether of the beast you brought me. What? Why are you looking at me as though you do not know how to channel the powers of creation? It is as natural as breathing. Even a newborn babe has the instinct. Even if your potential is lacking, as one of our people, you must surely know what to do. And he gave us a lightning cluster. So basically, the gist of it is that their creation magic is like some sort of combo between synthesis and summoning. But as the Scions already pointed out, you know, we don't have the ability to do that unless we're in large groups with a large amount of crystals, and it's not exactly synthesis because all he gave us was a crystal, right? They were able to create physical things from pure energy alone. With their mind. In Forbidden Planet, the entire planet is actually something like 8,764 or something like that, nuclear fusion reactors that host the energy and funnel it for the Krell to create things with their minds. Please wait near the counter while I confirm your details. Very well. If you remember, the Scions have gone off to see if they can find another way into the Capitol building. As your residency was approved by Emet-selch himself, further forms of identification will not be required. Here are your application documents. Submit them at the Bureau of the Secretariat, and the clerk will issue you with a visitor's writ for the capital. Okay. All our gear is in good condition, so we're good to go. Interestingly, you notice there's a merchant shop there and a mender. You can get your stuff fixed, and the mender, or the shop, they sell like fishing bait or something. So it's kind of funny. You can actually buy stuff here to use for like fisher. But I guess it kind of makes sense. We're at the bottom of the ocean, and I don't know. Maybe Emet-selch thought his illusion here needed to have that sort of shop. The more authentic, the better. So he got some actual like worms and things, and other sea creatures to act as bait that you can buy. This is definitely a zone I recommend getting flying in. You can actually fly up to the top of the buildings and look out over the cityscape. It's not quite as charming as being in the street, but you do get a better view. Next, please. Visiting the capital, are we? Please take a seat. Your name will be called once your application has been processed. And here we are in for an interesting cutscene. Uh-oh. May I? You, I think, are from a time beyond ours. Have you followed in the wake of Emet-selch? Nay, there is no cause for alarm. I am simply a shade, here and not here. I know only that my name is Hythlodeus, and that this city is the recreation, a phantom moment plucked from the well of history. These others seem unaware of their pale existence, but I wonder if Emet-selch's mind was distracted when it came to my reconstitution. A stray thought would have been enough. Hythlodeus would realize the truth, for example. We were close friends once, you see. Yet, in spite of my perception, I play the same role as all the rest. A bit part, meant to bring color and noise to this well-crafted stage. Too much scrutiny, and we shall burst like the fragile bubbles that we are. Thus, I tell you again, my presence is not to concern you. I wish only to share your company whilst we wait. If you've come this far, then you know of the catastrophe which awaits us on our morrow. The final days. What began as an isolated incident soon swelled into a world-spanning threat. The convocation of 14, well, it was 13 at the time, endeavored to create a will for our star. They would repair the fundamental laws of order and halt the spread of destruction. But creation on such a scale required an immense source of power. Of those of us who still lived, nearly half offered up their lives in the name of salvation. And from their sacrifice, Zodiark was born. Just as we had hoped, he reached forth and halted the march of oblivion. Yet, oh, how the star had suffered. So many species lost. The land was blighted, the waters poisoned, and even the wind had ceased to blow. Once more did our people give of themselves to Zodiark. Only another half of our race sacrificed to cleanse the world, to ensure that trees and grasses and myriad tiny lives would sprout and grow and flourish. The cycle of life had begun anew, and we reconsidered the means by which we might protect it. The convocation decided thus: we would nurture our world until it was bursting with vitality. Then, when the time was right, we would offer some portion of its living energy to Zodiac. In return, he would restore us those brethren whose souls had fed his strength, and together we would resume our role as stewards. There were, however, those who disagreed with this plan. They argued that enough had been sacrificed to Zodiac, that this new world should belong to the lives newly born. These dissidents surrender their life energies in the creation of Hydaelyn, an incarnation of their opposing belief, and for the first time in our history, our people stood divided. Know you, then, how this conflict ended? I thought you might. Emet-selch has ever been a champion for the will of Zodiac. The original plan may have been set back by millennia, but he will not have abandoned his course. He will pay the price for our return by whatever means is necessary. And though he may carry himself with a certain glib ease, Emet-selch is not a man to bear his burdens lightly. In fact, I imagine they have only grown heavier with every passing century. It is truly a terrible weight he has chosen to carry. Ah, there was one last thing. You walk with another at your side, yes? Nay. I see no definite form. Just the faintest suggestion of a second soul. I doubt it visible to anyone but me. Otherwise, I assume only you can see and hear this ethereal companion. Your connection is hardly a coincidence. In our time, the two of you were one. The color of your souls tells the tale. A hue that distinctive cannot be mistaken, no matter how thin the soul is spread. Ha! This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as he. Surely Emet-selch has recognized the hint of him in you? Fare you well, my new old friend. May you find what it is you seek. So that's pretty interesting, huh? Ardbert and us are one and the same. Or at least he's part of me. Or part of Clyde, anyway. Which is all the more reason he should sacrifice himself to make me stronger so I don't die. I'm just saying. They've hit us over the head with it a few times now. I'd appreciate it if he'd just get in my belly. I don't know if I have a more appropriate mount for going through the city here. Clyde. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that would be, you know, appropriate, so. Let's go talk to our Scion accomplices. The Academia Uniter, huh? We thought an Asian place of learning, the ideal spot to research your condition, but it seems we lacked credentials to enter the Academia proper. Ah, I see my instincts were correct. And a good thing, too. Urianje and I weighed our chances of breaking into the capital, and an official entrance is by far the more attractive option. The capital boasteth not a single armed sentry. 'Twould seem that in their time they did not deem it needful to post guards. The windows and doors, however, appear heavily warded. Though mightily did we strive, with strength mundane and magical, we failed to budge them even a fraction of one ilm. Mayhap 'twas simply the case that Emet-selch's recreation did not extend to their usual function. We didn't try everything, of course, but we thought it best to conserve our time and energy for more pressing matters. The problem is, these ancients didn't exist beyond Amaranth today. They will happily tell their own tales, but whenever we attempt to explain our situation, the conversation quickly became muddled. Well, it turns out that I share a soul with the guy's ass that I kicked back in Heavensward. Oh yeah, and the Avengers Endgame plot, yep. Except a little bit better, honestly. I hesitated to put it into words, but we have to assume that following the final rejoining, the Asians mean to draw on the lives of the Source to make their sacrifice to Zodiark. That does seem the most likely scenario. Mayhap those who ally with the Asians would be spared that fate. But what value is there in surviving when all of our history, all of our struggles will be erased? I cannot conscience such an act. Is fighting Emet-selch the only way? He created an entire city. It will take everything we have to defeat him, if we even can. And if you push that hard in your current state, the light will break free. Well, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't, so I might as well press on. The decision is yours, but know that it's really the only choice you can make. Do y'all say different stuff now? Thancred stares quietly into the distance. He seems calm and assured, his easy stance born of confidence rather than false bravado. Urianger glances your way, his expression hesitant. You can see the struggle as he agonizes over the words he wishes to say. Y'shtola meets your gaze with a strained smile. You seem to recall her wearing the self-same expression when speaking with Lys and Runar. Why does it bring up Lys? Alphinaud is lost in thought, his eyes downcast. There is, however, no sign of the self-doubt which once assailed him at the falling snows. Reen appears to be brooding over her choices, her faintly trembling hands betraying her mounting trepidation. Shadowbringers. I'm still of the same mind now as I was then. I don't abandon you. You don't abandon me, and together we make a difference in this fight. There's always hope if we look for it. I saw it again and again as you tore those veils of light from the sky. If we keep taking the next step forward, there's a chance we'll find a way to save you. So no matter how long it takes or how much it hurts, you can count on me to keep on walking. Bothri spoke of the disaster we would bring upon our own heads, the ceaseless conflict. Imagine how he would sneer to see what's become of the first, not to mention your perilous predicament. And yet who can deny the fire your deeds have ignited in people's hearts? You achieved what my logic and ideals never could, uniting disparate peoples under the banner of hope and common purpose. Without you, the giant Talos would never have raised its head. I have borne witness to many such miracles at your side, and would do so again. This is but another obstacle in the road. So come, let us travel it. Drag me through wonder and danger, as you are wont to do, and I shall endeavor not to slow you down. As well thou knowest, if we are to usher Emet-selch unto his rest, we must needs bind his Ascian soul, and then shatter it with overwhelming force. The former task requireth oversight, and such have I prepared, upon the Exarch's asking, no less, though 'twas ever mine intent to provide said boon. The future whence our noble friend doth hail is a world fallen to Ascian artifice, and he would not see such grim history repeated. In a sense, Emet-selch's destruction will be the culmination of the Exarch's efforts, a reward for all he hath endured these many years. Yet even as thou stridest into the jaws of peril, forget not but that his fondest wish, and that of many others besides, is to see thee survive unto the morrow. 'Tis a pursuit of that happiest of outcomes that I do pledge to remain at thy side. I think that's the plainest Urianger's ever spoke. Our time in the First has been a never-ending succession of trials, as arduous as our path in the Source ever was. Yet through all our journeys together, through that deep and foreboding wood, you have helped me to stay true to my convictions. Yeah, and I've pulled your ass out of the live stream twice. You forbidden magic-using skank. Thus would I return the favor. Do as your heart decrees, without hesitation or regret, and that is all I will say on the matter. Well, this has put everyone in a solemn mood, hasn't it? Honestly, we're not even sure this will be the end of it. But I suppose we should speak our minds when we have the opportunity. You taught me that much in Amarang. So forgive me this moment of sentiment, Clyde. By dragging me into this sorry mess, you've given me the chance to think and act as I should have, for Reen's sake. Words cannot express how much this has changed my life, or how grateful I am for your support. So I shall express my gratitude through action instead. No matter where you decide to go, I will be there, guarding your back. When Minfilia entrusted me with her power, she warned me that no matter how strong you become, you can still fall victim to despair. You can still feel powerless. And she was right. After you collapsed at Mount Golg, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. If I made a mistake, if I failed to bind the light within you, I was terrified you would die. Even now, you could be moments from turning, and I wouldn't know how to save you. You, Thancred, the others, you've all been there when I needed help. Minfilia surrendered her life to me, her legacy. I should be ready to do the same for you, and I want to, I do, but I'm not good enough. She told me to follow your example, and I've tried. I've really tried. I shouldn't? Oh, harshy font line. No, you wouldn't get that reference, but it's okay. Excellent. We've solved your teenage angst for now. For now. Stuff of nightmares come to life, huh? What, have you been using creation magics in your sleep? Welcome to the capital. All visitors must present an official writ of permission before admittance will be granted. Your documents appear to be in order. You may proceed into the capital, but any guest you may choose to bring with you must remain in your vicinity at all times.
This really is unacceptable. I gave you very specific instructions.
Emet-selch.
My invitation was for an abomination, ripe with the power to bring about the world's annihilation. Not this half-broken thing. Whatever am I to do with you? And I see you insist on keeping the same familiar company. Are you so lost without them?
It is not he who is lost without the familiar. Not content with remaking an entire city, you aim to fill it with the reconstituted souls of the dead.
I may have gotten a little carried away in my attention to detail, added a few unnecessary flourishes. Well, there's no point trying to hide it. Yes. Once the rejoining of worlds is complete, Zodiac will regain his full strength and shatter his prison. Then we shall offer up the Source's remaining inhabitants in sacrifice, that we might resurrect our brethren who died to bring Zodiac into existence. But what was it that you came here to do exactly? Did you know? One last do-or-die attempt to foil my plans before your mind dissolves into madness? How very, very heroic of you. In every single age, there is always someone who wants to stand up to the evil Asians. Always the same arrogance, the same insistence that the world belongs to them, as if theirs were the only rightful claim, theirs the only existence worthy of preservation. Even now, after everything, you refuse to see reason. You think it unfair that you are subject to suffering? That your lives will be sacrificed for the ancients? Look at me! I have lived 1,000 of your lives. I have broken bread with you, fought with you, grown ill, grown old, sired children, and yes, welcomed death's sweet embrace. For eons have I measured your worth and found you wanting. Too weak and feeble-minded to serve as stewards of any star. Have your recent spats with Vorthri and his Sin-Eaters taught you nothing? Have you not learned that your ignorance and frailty beget only endless misery? How long do you mean to perpetuate this farce? How much more must I endure your bumbling interference? Let us imagine that the laws of reality are again undone and the world faces true annihilation. Do you honestly believe that half your number would sacrifice themselves to save the other? Of course they wouldn't!
Damn. That applies to real life, too.
And if you had witnessed history unfold as I have, you would reach the same conclusion. You cannot be entrusted with our legacy.
Well,
I will bring back our brethren, our friends, our loved ones. The world belongs to us, and us alone.
Emet-selch! We understand, truly, but it makes no difference. The ones you love are in the past, while ours are here in the present. One day, we too will be ashes and dust. But not today. Our time is not yet finished. We share your conviction, and that is why we will not abandon our course.
You think us the same? You think your tattered soul of equal worth to those I lost? Then come. Earn your place. Prove yourselves worthy to inherit this star. Behold the coming oblivion. 'Twas the end of our era and the beginning of our great work. A fitting backdrop for your final judgment.
I shall wait within, but do not spend too much time on your preparations. There's no telling how much longer the guest of honor will last.
Guest of honor, huh? Anorat, now accessible. It's our first level 80 dungeon and the final main storyline dungeon for 5.0. Unfortunately, we obviously won't have time for it in this recording. So, I'll leave you here. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and have a good day.